Today's episode is brought to you by Mazars. SoundCartel. Thanks to the way we're brought up and the influence of the society around us, anyone can develop a blinkered view of the world. But blind spots can be fatal for businesses. So, how do you spot potential problems if you don't already know they exist? From SoundCartel, I'm Nicole Goodman, and this is Business Essentials Daily. Tristan Wright is a coach who calls himself the Chief Business Sherpa at his company, Evolve to Grow. He says finding your own blind spots is a matter of leaving your ego at the door and genuinely seeking the views of your staff. Tristan Wright starts by explaining to Jeff Waters what he means by the term business blind spots.
So many business owners, whether you're a small business, whether you're a large business, the leader has got to focus on what they want to achieve. Typically, successful business owners at times will have blinkers on because they've got a goal that they're wanting to achieve. That's good because you've got an unbridled focus on getting there. And there's so many examples of business owners that have had that unbridled focus and they've achieved their goal. But if you've got your blinkers on, you've got blind spots on, you're going to miss what is happening around you, whether it's something good, whether it's something bad. And having these blind spots at times can actually hold you back and be detriment to your business.
Is it caused by having a fixed mindset?
In this instance, fixed mindset is one thing, but I'd also like to argue it's ego, as in the business owner has got an ego, I can do it extremely well, I don't need others' help. Or if it's not ego, it's lack of education or lack of knowledge.
Can you give us some examples of what these blind spots may be?
So I want to give a really good example of me in my previous business. I was in my early 20s and I was running a 7-figure business. I had no issues at all. I'd gone from, in my spare time, turning over 300 grand at my kitchen table whilst I was working full time to running a 7-figure business before I was 26. And I'd had no issues. So I thought, cool, it's going to keep going like this forever. So I thought, I don't need to talk to others. I don't need to get advice from others because business is easy. But within the space of 6 months' time, I'd gone from being super profitable to being 200 grand in debt plus losing a marriage. And that's because I didn't even think to look outside the box because everything had been running smoothly. I didn't think to ask others, are there going to be road bumps down the path? And there was.
So how did you remove your blinkers, or how should other people remove their blinkers?
It's really easy now with hindsight or 20/20 vision. It's actually getting over your ego and arrogance. And even though you think you know everything, even though you think you're successful, there's always going to be something that you don't know. There's always going to be a curveball thrown at you that you're not prepared for. So make the time to go and talk to others, to go and spend time with others, to listen to others, to talk to people in your business that are not just the leaders that are reporting to you, but the people beneath the leaders that are reporting to the leaders, and actually get a full 360 picture on everything that's happening within the business and within the industry.
How do you go about spotting your own unrecognised weaknesses, though?
So we've got weaknesses. There's weaknesses that we're aware of, and that's easy to deal with because we're aware of them. The scary thing is the weaknesses or the blind spots that we're not aware of, because if we're not aware of them, they're the ones that are going to come and kick us in the backside and really hurt. So it is actually getting over ourselves and talking to others and saying, hey, where can I improve? What are the issues in the business that I don't know about? Or what are the issues in the business that our leadership team doesn't know about? Actually going out and proactively looking for feedback and not being afraid when you get real constructive criticism.
There's a brand new podcast series out now called The History of the Australian Startup Ecosystem. It goes right back to the 70s and examines the evolution of the Aussie startup. Guests include Canva co-founder Cameron Adams, former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull, and some of Australia's top VCs. We think you're really going to love it. Follow the history of the Australian startup ecosystem wherever you listen to podcasts, and the link is also in the show notes of this episode.
Are all blind spots bad?
No.
Can you expand on that?
Yes, of course I can. I just wanted a little pause to see how you would react. There's many business owners that if they didn't have blind spots, they wouldn't have achieved what they've achieved today. So one of my clients over in WA, he has got no idea about finances. So he's got lucky because he knows how to sell and he knows what the customer wants. He took risks in his business that if he had have known about the financial situation that he was in, he wouldn't have kept going. But because he didn't understand the numbers fully, he took risk after risk. And today, he's probably profiting 6 figures every single month because of the risks that he unknowingly took a couple of months previous. So I'm not going to recommend ignore your finances because you can get yourselves into trouble. But if you actually know what you want to achieve, sometimes it's good that you sort of ignore those things because you can actually achieve.
So what are the warning signs that you might have blind spots?
Simplest way to put it is that we're looking for answers that confirm our own point of view. And what I mean by that is that when we're looking at our data, we're getting the results and the answers that we think we need. And scientifically, this is referred to as confirmation bias. So we're doing research, we've got an opinion, and we're looking for information that is going to support our opinion. And if we can only find information that's supporting our opinion, that means we're missing something because there's always two sides to the coin. So if we're not finding the other side of the coin, that means we're missing something. We've got a blind spot and that we've got to call that out and say to someone within the business or a mentor or a coach, what am I missing here?
So when you're advising a client and talking about this issue of blind spots, what's the first sort of thing or the first steps that you want them to take?
I will always play devil's advocate. Someone will come to me and say, this is what I want to do. For me as a business coach, I can say, put together a business case. I can say to you, tell me why won't this work? You've presented to me every single reason why it will work because you've got confirmation bias. Now, let's say someone is going to come and put in $100K into this offer or $1 million. Why would they do it? What is their risk? Tell me what the risk factors are in this. Are they going to be, if you were to go and put $1 million into this, are you going to be guaranteed your return on this? So we need to look at the risk factors because when we think about putting other people's money in, we're going to be like, okay, cool, these are the risk factors. This is what I need to mitigate.
That was Tristan Wright, business coach and founder of Evolve to Grow. Business Essentials Daily is a SoundCartel podcast. Producers are Nick Schilberger, Chris Ashmore, Jeff Waters and myself. Technical production by Pete Letts and Belinda Trimboli. I'm Nicole Goodman. Thanks for listening. We'll bring you more Be Daily next week. SoundCartel. This episode was brought to you by Mazars. To find out more, visit mazars.com.au. That's mazars.com.au.